What's going on, everyone? Gormy here. Today I have got a strikerless tactic here for you guys that I feel is probably one of the most unique tactical systems within FM22. Strikerless has been very popular this year, and this tactic is absolutely phenomenal. It utilizes three shadow strikers, a very overpowered role, but is just absolutely phenomenal within this tactic because I've used it plenty of times this year within my own tactics, but this one, I have never seen Shadow Strikers perform like this. So we're going over a 4-1-5 today. So it's going to be very attacking. Really looking forward to it. If you guys do happen to enjoy today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button? And I'll be linking the tactic down below in the description for you guys to download. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So, tested this tactic with three clubs. Two of them are in the Premier League. One was Manchester City, and one was Watford. Man City finished in second, and Watford finished in fifth. The reason why Manchester City finished in second and did not win the league because they were only 2 wins off of winning the league. They had Liverpool on goal differential as they scored 117 goals and only conceded 10 more than Liverpool. But the reason why they did not win the league is because 2 of their 4 losses were to Watford. So this tactic is very good, especially if a team like Watford, who 100% should not be playing a strikerless type tactic, beats Man City with it both times that they play them. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how all the players did. But the other club we tested with was Fulham, and they won the championship on 101 points and had 108 goals for, which is absolutely incredible at that level. And I mean, they lost the same amount of games as Bournemouth and Blackburn. Would have been nice if they didn't lose 7 games. Probably would have been ecstatic with losing 4. Add 3 of those to the win column with 34 wins. That would have been awesome. But really happy overall with how the teams performed so far within their leagues. Now the first club that we're going to look at is Fulham. Fulham scored 108 goals in the league. They had 52% possession with this tactic as well. They were in for most tackles won with 741, and they had 16 clean sheets while conceding 48 goals throughout the season. Now looking at the players and how they performed for Fulham, you got Ivan Cavallero scoring 16 goals. Same with Alexander Mitrovic. I will show you guys what I did with the Shadow Striker roles in a moment because, as we all know, Mitrovic is an out-and-out striker. That is all he can play. But I ended up playing him as a Shadow Striker, and as we can see, he did pretty solid. Cabano had 11 assists for Fulham. Most player of the match performances was Tosin Adarabayo, I believe is how you say it. He had 12 player of the match performances and averaged a 7.72 throughout the season. For clean sheets, Paulo Gazzaniga, he had 16 clean sheets and fewest conceded. He unfortunately was not in. But now getting to the Premier League clubs, Manchester City had 117 goals, and then Watford had 94. So even though Watford finished in 5th, they still scored the second most amount of goals within the league. And just like Fulham, both teams are in most tackles won, Man City having 658, Watford having 613. Both clubs in most dribbles made as well, Watford with 429 and Man City with 412. And the Man City had 16 clean sheets while only conceding 32 league goals. So for most goals in the league, Kevin De Bruyne had 28 goals and Emmanuel Denis had 22. For most assists, Kevin De Bruyne had 15, Sterling with 14, Bernardo Silva with 13, and Joao Cancelo with 10. Most part of the match performances, KDB, he had 6 while averaging a 7.55 rating throughout the season. Most key passes, Bernardo Silva had 147, KDB with 143. Hassane Kamara was actually in most tackles won with 82. And Ederson was in most clean sheets having 15. The other one that they had being that Man City had 16. Zach Steffen that is, he had 1. And then fewest conceded, Ederson only conceded 32. Now, we're going back to Fulham here for a second because I'm going to start showing who played where in those shadow striker roles. Now, the top 3 goal scorers for Fulham were Bobby Decordova-Reid, Alexander Mitrovic, and Fabio Carvalho. Each one of them played a shadow striker role. Fabio Carvalho was on the left, Mitrovic down the middle, because he is a striker, so I wanted to keep him as central as possible so that he could kind of adapt pretty well. And then Bobby Decordova-Reid, he was on the right. Bobby Decordova-Reid, he had 18 goals. Mitrovic with 17. Fabio Carvalho also with 17. Ivan Cavallero, who was playing as a left winger, I believe, he had 16. Cabano had 12. Josh Anoma had 11. Next highest after that was Harry Wilson on that right wing with 9. And then assist-wise, you have Cabano with 13, Carvalho with 13, Chalobah with 11, and Mitrovic with 10. Now looking at Watford, it was a little bit more risky with who I was going to play in these shadow striker roles. I wasn't exactly sure. I know they wanted to keep Ismaila Sarr out on the right wing, so I ended up playing Emmanuel Denis on the right shadow striker. Then we got Cucho Hernandez on the left, and then Joao Pedro down the middle. I was thinking about doing Joshua King, but he ended up playing on the left wing, which you guys will see in a moment. But Emmanuel Denis, he had 24 goals. You got Ismaila Sarr with 18, Cucho Hernandez with 13, Joshua King with 12, Musa Sissoko with 11, and then Joao Pedro had 8. Assist-wise, though, out of those 3 shadow strikers, Joao Pedro had the most assists. And he was the only player that did hit double-digit assist totals. But overall, I mean, they finished in 5th place. That's absolutely phenomenal. Now, the Fulham numbers and the Watford numbers haven't really been crazy player-wise, and that's because they don't have players like KDB in their team. Kevin De Bruyne, who played the central shadow striker role, Phil Foden played on the right one, Bernardo Silva played on the left one. KDB had 51 goals and 26 assists. Sterling, who played on the right wing, had 33 goals, 24 assists. Jack Grealish, who played on the left wing, had 25 goals, 19 assists. Phil Foden had 22 goals, 16 assists. Riyad Mahrez, 16 goals, 13 assists. He played on the left or the right. And then Bernardo Silva had 16 goals and 20 assists. The only other person who had double digits anything was Joao Cancelo with 14 assists. But if you notice with Man City, there are only 2 players that did not score a goal. 2 players in the whole team, and they were the goalkeepers. Every single player that could possibly score a goal scored a goal with this tactic. It is absolutely absurd. And I mean, KDB was supposed to have around 36 goals. He had 51. That is absolutely nuts. Then you got Raheem Sterling, supposed to have 23. He had 33. Jack Grealish, supposed to have 17. He had 25. That is absolutely nuts. The one person who did underperform their XG was Bernardo Silva. So that is unfortunate. But overall, I mean, they all played absolutely unreal. And now we finally get to look at the tactics. So this is how it is set up. You got 3 shadow strikers with 2 inside forwards on attack outside of them. You have 1 roaming playmaker. That is your 1 central midfielder. And then you have 2 inverted wingbacks who will come into central midfield and 2 ball-playing defenders on defend. This tactic is absolutely bonkers attacking-wise. I absolutely love what you can do with it. It is very, very unique. Most shadow striker tactics aren't really anything like this. This is super, super overpowered attacking-wise, especially if you have a really good team. So if you have a really good team like a Man City, you're going to absolutely dominate. I think it's amazing that, yes, Watford finished in 5th. Man City could have won the league, but the reason why they didn't win the league was because Watford, a team that is nowhere near their level, beat them both times with the same exact tactic. So it's absolutely incredible what this tactic can do. So the inside forwards on attack have shoot less often, sit narrower, and tackle harder added to their instructions. So looking at the shadow strikers on attack, the game kind of goofed up and duplicated some of the things. So the only things that are added to the shadow strikers on all 3 of them is pass it shorter, tackle harder, and mark tighter, because move into channels, dribble more, and take more risks are already on them. For the roaming playmaker on support in the defense midfielder area, you got more direct passes, dribble more, shoot less often, move into channels, tackle harder, and mark tighter. The inverted wingbacks on support both have dribble more, shoot less often, and tackle harder. The ball-playing defenders on defend both have pass it shorter, dribble more, shoot less often, stay wider, and tackle harder. And the sweep keeper on support, the only thing added to him was the pass it shorter instructions. This tactic is played with a positive mentality. It's already very, very attacking. So if you want to go even more attacking, definitely feel free to do so. If you are wanting to use this as a Watford, you can clearly see that they performed very, very well, finishing in 5th. They beat Man City with none of this changed, so I don't even think you should go balanced with this tactic. Definitely don't go cautious or defensive. There's no need to do that. They'll just invite more pressure onto you. But I would definitely stick with the positive mentality. I don't think you really need to go any higher, any lower. I think it is the sweet spot for this tactic. When in possession, it is played fairly wide with extremely high tempo and slightly shorter passing directness. Work the ball into the box and use low crosses. When in transition, counter press and counter and roll the ball out to the right center back. And then once out of possession, use the offside trap, much higher line of engagement for the offense, a standard defensive line, much more often trigger press, aka much more often pressing intensity, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. So this tactic, it looks absolutely phenomenal. I really, really like what I see on paper so far, from how the players performed, how the teams performed. Fulham absolutely dominated the championship. Watford did very, very well, finishing in 5th and beating Man City, a juggernaut, twice. Man City would have won the league if that didn't happen, because they were outright dominating everyone. It's just that Liverpool got lucky that they didn't have to play a Watford that was able to beat Man City, that blows my mind that has happened. That Watford, a team that got relegated in reality and shouldn't be using shadow strikers, pulled off a strikerless tactic, and they beat Man City twice. So this tactic, definitely everyone needs to give a go. But now that we've talked about all the statistics, let's see how it performs within the match engine. So after seeing what the tactic can do within the match engine and how it looks, I don't know how other teams cope defensively with this tactic, because it literally looked like the entire team was just swarming them. It looks absolutely unbelievable within the match engine. The numbers back it up. I mean, this is a tactic that I would definitely use within my own save and use in online drafts. So definitely give this tactic a go. Once again, it'll be linked down below in the description. That is where you guys will be able to find the download link. If you guys happen to enjoy today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button? And until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.